God bless you. Welcome to our members only video. I wanted to bring to you this particular clip. I know that we talked about some of this stuff before, but hearing it all together on this one video, it is actually setting in. I want to share this with you. Please listen carefully and we'll talk a little bit about it.
You and I both know that this is something that was a major prophetically speaking. In my opinion, this is setting the stage. I'm not saying this is it, but it is the precursor. It's the framework that's setting the stage, conditioning society. And I'm talking about the digital ID that will be mandatory for you to work in the United Kingdom. Check this out. Listen, here's a speech from Kerr. Is that how you say his name? Kerr Starmer? I believe that's how you say his name.
Starmer, yeah.
Yeah, here you go.
We are in an era of, and that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this parliament. Let me spell that out.
Spell it out.
You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Wow. So he spelled it out, Pastor Tom. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom without digital ID. Let me show you this and pull this up too. Look at this. Switzerland charts its own path on digital IDs, sparking European privacy debate. In a razor-thin vote, Switzerland has broken rank with its European neighbors by approving a uniquely privacy-focused digital ID system that stands in stark contrast to controversial initiatives underway in the European Union and the United Kingdom. Now, this shouldn't surprise us, guys, because let me see if I can pull this up. Look at this. Thousands of Swedes are inserting microchips under their skin. Now, there was I pulled up stats on this a few days ago. And there's literally, guys, thousands, up to like 6,000 people in Switzerland that has already put a implantable microchip in their hand for, again, in the name of convenience, security, everything. It's all there. It's convenient and everything. So here you have, let's look at this real quick. So now, you have countries now that are accepting and being conditioned to put something in their hand in the name of, again, peace, security, convenience, all of this. And now we have a digital identification system that is going to be required, mandated to work. I don't know about you, Pastor Tom, but I think I've read somewhere in this book about something that sounds a lot like that to me. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So what do we have? We have RFK Jr., who says you got to have a wearable, right?
Yep.
For medical purposes. We have Bill Gates. If we go back to 2020, Bill Gates, remember the tattoo developed?
Digital tattoo, yep.
That was 2020. Now, he's been talking about that lately. Right. And you talk about these things all the time. And then Starmer says this, listen, right now, as of today, it's going to be our phones, right? As of today. If we look at what was it, World Economic Forum with, what's his name? Klaus Schwab. Remember that, Ricky? When he says, I love what China does. We need to implement that. That is what this is. So as of today, it might be a phone. As of today, we're what year are we? 2025, right? It is not going to stay on the phone much longer. Bill Gates says it. Starmer says you got to have the digital ID, but ultimately it is going. And like what you just reported, those Switzerland, and that started in Switzerland. How many years ago did that start? That was
a long time ago.
That was pre-COVID. I remember that was pre-COVID. Okay.
Yeah.
And here's what I mean, there's so much more to say about this. Maybe we should do something just on this someday. But if we look at it, again, it goes down to what has been happening is the technology is here. And what has been going on is the people have been in this place of being conditioned to get them to that point. That is what has been going on. So it's a carrot and stick. Starmer says, "Oh, it's free. It's free. It's the carrot, and you'll probably get the UBI, Universal Basic Income, to help everybody because we know what's coming with artificial intelligence, and some jobs are going to be going away for sure, and they already are. So we get that. So you got the carrot, but he said you will not work unless." Here comes the stick, baby, and wait until it gets to what you're saying, what this book tells us, exactly where this is going. But I think Starmer says it has to be fully implemented by 2029. Is what the date is. By 2029, completely, you will not be able to escape. What they're building is a system you cannot escape from.
That's exactly right. And we have sounded the alarm on this over and over and over again. And this is what's terrifying is all this is playing out. Let me pull this article up, and you literally just touched on this, but I want to show our audience here. And this is from The Hill. Gen X may be the first to need a universal basic income after late career job loss. And if you read into this, guess what the reason why is because half of all white collar jobs will disappear as artificial intelligence advances. Now, here's what's funny but terrifying at the same time is Elon Musk recently came out and said that by 2030, there's that number. Have you noticed how much 2030 comes up with these guys? By 2030, the world will have a universal basic income, and it will be we will live our best life, and AI will be here and all this stuff. And I mean, these guys, and I want to say this because you brought this up earlier. There's a lot of things that I love about Donald Trump that he stands for. I love that he's against the woke agenda. I love that he's for the sanctity of marriage. I love that he's for the sanctity of life. I love, what he's doing to try to protect our borders. There's a lot, and we could go on and on. The one thing that I would say keeps me up at night about him that I don't like is how he rubs elbows with the Sam Altman, the Larry Ellison, the Elon Musk, and all of these guys, these technocrats that are, and frankly, they're lunatics. I mean, their envision of humanity is to enslave humanity into what's called transhumanism. And we did a podcast on this just this week, and you talked about the right now it's these phones, but then it'll be Bill Gates has said that he believes it's going to be a digital tattoo. Elon Musk says it's going to be a BCI. Now that's an acronym for brain chip interface, aka Neuralink, which is going to go. How interesting is that, Pastor Tom? Mm-hmm. You've got something that goes on your hand, electronic tattoo. You've got a BCI or a brain chip interface that goes in your head, and you and I both know once you've conditioned society to accept something on your hand, it's not going to take long for somebody to come along, probably from Switzerland or somewhere, and say, "Hey, you guys are so far behind on technology. Who needs a digital tattoo? Why do this? Why do that? Just put your hand out here. Let us put this little chip in your hand. Now I have access to all my medical information is right here. My payment information is here. I can buy, sell, and trade. Security. I can go buy a firearm, and it will match my fingerprint of the chip that will unlock the safety mechanism. You guys know they're creating that, right? And they've been doing that for a long time. So what are we talking about? We're talking about an entire society that's being conditioned for what scholars have sat around, scratched their head, and debated for centuries. Could you imagine, Pastor Tom, living in the 1800s and reading Revelation 13 and be like, what? How in the world is this even going to happen? But here we are in 2025, and you open up to Revelation 13, and it's like, well, I mean, I can literally open up my Bible to Revelation 13, pull up 3 articles from our website or whatever off the internet and have a candid conversation with somebody I work with or somebody in my family or a neighbor and show them, I like what David Wilkerson used to say. He said, the time would come when you could take the Bible and a newspaper and put them side by side and you could see how we're that generation that will see all these things come to pass.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting, Ricky. There's those who push back against anything we say about the book of Revelation still coming in the future, the prophecies, and they'll bring up how the Roman Empire, they actually had a mark. No one could buy or sell without their particular mark. It was a stone or whatever it was that they used for identification purposes, that you were part of their system. And that's what they say, no, that was all fulfilled way back then. And we've said that's absurd. For one thing, this is something that is global. It is an hour of trial that comes on the whole earth. Every single person is going to be required. It was not fulfilled in the past. And what you were talking about, listen, this is the evidence of where we are right now. And it is coming, and it is going to be sold as it's for your good. Look how it's the shaming. We can already see the shaming take place. I mean, we watched the last 5.5 years of the shaming, you know, go back 4 years ago, and the shaming that took place if you didn't do something in particular to be able to go into a store. Oh, you're not going to do, oh, you don't care about humanity? Oh, you don't, oh, I see what you're about. You know, so we've already adjusted to being shamed and shaming people in order to compliance. But this is going to be, look, we finally found an answer to peace and security.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is receive this mark, and you're not willing to do it. Not to mention the medical treatment for your kid if your kid has some disease that is going to kill them. If you don't receive the mark, you can't get the medicine to heal.
That's
so your kid can be killed. The pressure to receive this mark is going to be unbelievably strong, where it's going to be almost impossible to resist except the power of the Holy Spirit. So you look at this and go, it is coming. It's coming like a freight train. And again, these are dates of men 2030, but nevertheless, I don't think it's a coincidence that they're all giving these dates, because here's the deal. Satan knows. He knows better than we do. Yep. He might not know the exact time of the rapture, exact hour, but he knows. He knew 1948 was a marker for Israel, even though most pastors deny that. And everything is racing towards this. So there is not a coincidence that's all coming about at the same time. It's also not a coincidence that we have super billionaires all here at the same time that weren't hindered by government red tape to develop the technology necessary. No, God is the one who's in control. God is sovereign. He made it so at this time you'd have these people who have a mind that's evil, that are willing to use their things for whatever purposes, use the billions of dollars that they have, even trillions as they accumulate together, to develop the systems necessary, all at the exact same time to bring about this. That's not a coincidence. And while we talked about the first part with the nation of Israel and the hate on Israel, these things are not a coincidence. They're all happening right now.
Well, look, we're getting ready to wrap it up, but I want to throw this as a nugget for you guys. If you face a preterist, and that's what when Pastor Tom talked about these individuals that will tell you that all the Matthew 24, Luke 21, Mark 13, all that was fulfilled in 70 AD. Ask them this question, and this is always stumps them. When did the sign of the Son of Man appear in heaven and the tribes of the earth mourn, and when they saw the Son of Man coming out of the clouds of heaven with power and great glory? They can't answer that because that's nonsense, guys. It never happened. Again, it's a false doctrine. And it's so old that it was circulating in the time of the disciples too. They were saying that same nonsense. So that's why Paul had to address the church of Thessalonica too, because one of these people they had convinced the church that they had missed the rapture, and Paul had to come along and say, "Hey, you didn't miss the rapture. I told you these things when I was with you," and he had to reaffirm them that. You and I both know that this is something that was a major prophetically speaking. In my opinion, this is setting the stage. I'm not saying this is it, but it is the precursor. It's the framework that's setting the stage, conditioning society. And I'm talking about the digital ID that will be mandatory for you to work in the United Kingdom. Check this out. Listen, here's a speech from Kerr. Is that how you say his name? Kerr?
So, guys, I wanted this to play all the way through so that you can hear the importance of the time that we are living in. Our job as end time prophetic people is to keep us rapture ready and keep us focused on what is going on. And so you see that these things are truly getting closer and closer. I just pray that we will continue to be strong in God, and that as we are seeing these things, we desire more and more for the coming of the Lord. Guys, this is all I have for you. I wanted to play this video just as a reminder how close we are in these prophetic end times. Okay, share the video, thumbs up the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.